Good morning, guys. It's May the 16th. I'm Henry Green from London Trading Group. I'm just going to run through what we're looking for in the markets today. Okay, so starting with Euro, I actually had this hit a D late on Friday. So we have now hit that reverse D on the sub-fibs of the Euro dollar. We have now broken this out of trend line as well. So this could now open up that bottom side in the Euro. What we actually think is that potentially this now just breaks back into this range, unfortunately. So Euro is now just potentially going sideways. There's only one thing to stop that now, and that's this kind of second wave of the daily fibs, of the daily chart. And we could now we pull back to the 38. This could now start to turn. So now I'm looking for these reversal signs, because for me we're back into the buy zone on the daily chart, and therefore you've got to be looking for when this market's going to turn. All of the moving averages are over the top of this now, so it does look heavy, and the first push to Euro would lead it down to 112.25, which I've got a level at. So if we don't get a pullback today, we go back through the lows, and I think 112.25 is a really good area to be looking to fade this, because I've got this as the 127 without any sort of pullback, and that could be a nice initial move down if you see it get down to there. So on 112.25 I like. Short. You have on the daily, you've got this 50 moving average coming in, which it respected last time on the last bounce, so you could see it potentially stop around there. So maybe another test before we then bounce and go higher. So obviously for us to go higher now, we do have to go through this trend line. So we did make a new low, so this can simply be extended out. But certainly the Euro for me now looks like it needs to go lower. It showed significant weakness. Went through the out trend line, which wouldn't have happened if this market was a strong one, and we are now drizzling lower. So let's just wait to see what happens in that one. But certainly I think 112.25 as an initial bounce is a really good zone for the euro dollar. Cable looks heavy, nice heavy close on Friday, to be fair, and it does look like it could continue on down. I've got this past market angle on the day, which you could wait to see. So if you have that in it, I mean, it just goes across the highs of sort of the day, and we're kind of coming in around here, so between here and 143.30 zone. So we have hit pull back to the, we've gone deep, so 127 is the target. So I'm looking now down to 143.20 as a potential bounce zone. Again, that lines up quite nicely with my daily levels, so we could get a first pushing cable down to 143.20. And then potentially see that hold. I think if you go through 143.20, it opens up sort of 142.70 and then down to 142.30 is my next level lower. So just wait to see what happens with that one. But certainly, again, if we make a lower high here on the 15-minute chart and go through the lows, then this is going to be a short. So my custom moving average in this one comes in, I've got two. So one comes in at 75, which is, I've got a bit of a level up there as well. And then the higher one comes in at 144.22. So that pullback, I wouldn't imagine it for them to sell off, but I think maybe a 143.75 pullback is probably likely today, and then we potentially go higher. So again, what you can do the sub fibs of the 15. So if you put these fibs in, so if we have this as a first fib up, we pull back quite deep, so therefore we're looking to target the 143.80, which lines up again quite nicely with that custom moving average. So we could be looking for that zone, sort of 75.80, I think, as an initial good sell zone for cable, especially if we do think this market is going lower, which I actually do think, and that could be the retest of that lower break as well, and the 50 moving average on the day. Okay, that's a good zone. Yeah, I do like that now. Between 75 and sort of 80, I think cable's quite a good sell zone. Dollar yen, I'm just going to extend this line out. Let's have a look where this goes. So dollar yen, how did we close? So we closed again quite bearishly on Friday in dollar yen. I do now like this lower again. So we still haven't completed the D on the bottom side, so we could just see, again, we're trapped in this range, we've got to remember that. So it just seems to be messing around sort of between 108.30 and 109.40 I've got as my zone. So just be careful of that one. We haven't managed to break out of that zone yet. So wait till that breaks before a potential continuation move can be found. Again, we're at the 127. We kind of failed 3 times now for those highs of 109.40. And now if we do go through the lows, that is a nice sell zone. So it is a nice sell signal. So we have broken this custom moving average, which held once, twice, and we now broke through it. So potentially this is showing some signs of weakness. Again, it's got to go through that outer trend line before it breaks lower. And that's going to be the next signal that I'm going to be looking for. So as soon as it goes through that, then I think you can play the short side in dollar yen. And we were then looking down to the target down at 103. So that's quite a big old move we're looking for in that one. The weekly chart rejected off the 8 EMA, but we have closed back above the 200 on the weekly. So that's quite interesting in dollar yen. And potentially that could lead us higher. So I'm just going to wait to see which way this breaks. Either you go up through 109.40 or down through 108.30. So they're my two zones. But certainly at the moment we look like potentially there's a bit more bearish pressure than bullish pressure. If we do break upwards, you can expect an overextended move, so a move past 1010, a move through 110, as this has been a shallow pullback, so I'd be looking for that to be taken out, potentially go up to the next level of resistance, maybe 110.25 or even up to 111.30. Dollar CAD was a bearish close too, so you had quite, it was a bullish close on Friday, and now this is, if you did the sub-fibs on the day, we had pulled back to 38, we had a nice morning star, and now we potentially push higher in dollar CAD, so the trend line's broken. We had that overextended move on Friday, and we finally hit the D there. So we do expect this to pull back, always looking for a pullback in this, back down to 129, and then I'll be looking for a buy. I think that's going to be a really high probability zone for it to bounce around 129, and I'll be certainly looking to get into that for it to then go through the highs. Next level up for this one, you've got to watch for 129.60, and then we're through that up to 130s, 130.60, and through that 130, 140. So that's what I'm looking for. First target will be 130.50, which again I told you is a good level. So that makes sense. If you get a normal pullback into this kind of cluster zone of all these moving averages, this could then be a nice buy up to 130.50 at least in dollar CAD. Aussie dollar, I think, needs one more push down. I think if you get down to 72 in this one, then it becomes a real buy zone, and then we potentially could see Aussie rally. The weekly close is ever so bearish, though, so that's what I'm a bit careful of. And the next weekly level down is 71.10. So I think Aussie potentially has the easy move down is to 72, and then if we bounce there, then we potentially could see this go higher. But I'm not going to look to play a momentum trade on the top side until we break through the moving average and break through the trend line. And all the moving averages start to turn over. So we did break through and we have dipped lower. This is something that often happens, and then we break higher. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move this over to here, extend it out, and then let's see whether this one breaks successfully. If this one has gone through, yeah, it's gone through there. So all we can do is move this one out because it's made a new low. So now we're in this valid trend line. So we're right at the outer trend line of Aussie dollar at the moment. So potentially we just see this go lower. No pullback really. Did we get back to 38? Okay, so we nearly got back to 38. Okay, so you can expect to move down to at least 72.20, maybe a little overextension to hit that 72 level that we talked about in Aussie and now, and then that's the bounce zone for me. So I'm just going to wait to see what happens at 72, and then potentially look for a bit of Aussie strength to kick in. Kiwi. Let's have a look at that one. What's Kiwi saying? Okay, Kiwi's bang at those lows. Again, we closed back below that moving average again. 67.50 was a really good target. We kind of retested the breakout, and I do now see this go lower. So I think Kiwi is a really good short. I do like it. It's got to manage to close below 67.50 because I think that's a key zone that I'm looking for. 67 is a good level on the weekly as well, and it was a nice rejection. You closed back above the 21 on the week, so that's quite interesting in the Kiwi. If we just get rid of this one looks like it just wants to roll over, another lower high, and then we potentially go lower. So at the moment we have taken this high out on the 15, so this means that potentially this market's not ready for me to go yet, but we have pulled back, and now I think we could potentially see this trade back down to, well, at least down to 67, and 66.90 is my level, which corresponds nicely with the D. So that's what I'm going to be looking for Kiwi. I think if you make a lower high and then go through the lows, I think 67's taken on quite easily, and that's certainly what I'll be looking for in that one. Okay guys, that's a quick wrap up of what I'm looking for today. I hope that's been useful. As I said, please feel free to leave any comments you want to in the boxes below. Click subscribe to never miss a video again, and I will see you tomorrow with another market update. And happy trading. Thanks very much for listening.